Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Paranormal Contact. No Dave again today, just me. Okay, Dave's coming over later and we're going to be doing something together later then, but I just wanted to do another one of my little chats with you. And I wanted to talk to you today about the different types of spirits and ghosts that you might encounter. I guess over the years you get to see a lot of different types of entities and different types of beings, I guess you could call them. Energies is the term I'd probably like to use. They're energies. And trying to sort of categorize them or split them down in any way is quite difficult. But I'm going to have a go because I do recognise different types of energy that we encounter. So the first one I want to talk about is energies that have lived here on this planet and then have died. So it's probably people, could be animals that have actually lived a life on this planet and have then passed over to the other side, or you could controversially say they haven't passed over, they're still sat in the in-between. I don't want to get into too much about religion and things like that because we've all got our own beliefs and that's fair enough, but some people would think that they haven't passed on to heaven or they haven't gone on to the next realm, whatever it might be, whatever your belief is, that's okay. But the differentiator is they had a life here. They had experience of life on this planet. The other types are entities, energies that have not lived on this planet. They may have been around for thousands of years, but they've not experienced an actual life here. And I'm going to try and break them down further now into sort of some subcategories of those two types of energies, okay? The first one I want to talk about is what I would call a residual energy. The energy that's there when you get maybe that repeating or recurring thing that happens in a certain place. It may be something like a clock stops at a certain time. At 11 o'clock every night you hear footsteps going up a set of stairs, something like that. This is quite a weak energy. It's not a strong spirit. You can't really interact with it. It's like a scar on the surroundings, but it's there and it's somehow trying to replay something that happened, an event that happened. In some ways I feel these are entities or energies that are trapped within their surroundings. Or we go back to the stone theory where you can see that certain buildings, certain stone, certain brick may somehow record an event that happened. So that could be the explanation of that. So that's one type. The next one is really what I would call more intelligent energy. So these are the types of energy that you can communicate with. So if we were to set up somewhere doing our investigations and we start to get clear communications through on necrophonics, or we start to get cat balls flashing, or we ask for knocks and we get knocks repeated back to us. Those are what I would class as intelligent hauntings, intelligent spirits, intelligent energies. You are able to communicate with them. They may, however, not understand that they are dead. They are quite a strong spirit, but they may sometimes turn a little bit aggressive or angry. So that's quite often because they don't realise they're dead. They don't understand they're dead, and they may feel that you're the intruder when you're there, or we're the intruders when we're there. So you have to be a little bit careful with these spirits, and they need help. So try not to lose your patience with them. They need help to move on, really. And that's something that maybe you can offer them if you can get them to understand that they have passed on. There's quite a good film you can watch if you like watching sort of ghost films, horror films, called The Others. The Others is a great film, and it explains this type of entity perfectly. I won't tell you the plot and the whole story, because when you watch it, it's quite good. But if you've never seen that film, go and watch it, and you'll see an intelligent energy, residual energy, intelligent energy that's remained behind. Check it out. So the next type are, again, intelligent energies, but they do know they are dead. Now, these energies may or may not like you, just depending on who you are, what you represent. They can be very, very attached to where they are. And these ones, again, you can interact with them very, very easily with necrophonics, cat balls, but they have no misconception. They know they're dead, and again, they can display themselves as quite angry spirits. They can sometimes try and affect you in adverse ways, but again, quite a powerful spirit. But you know, as long as you take precautions, you can cleanse yourself of these types of spirits fairly easily. The next one I want to talk about is ancestor spirits. So these are not attached to any sort of necessarily areas or things, but they are attached to people. Sometimes they can be ancestors in as much as they are blood relatives that have come back to help you, or they may just be long lost ancestors of the human race, I suppose is the best way to put it. But again, they did have a life on this planet, so they understand us, they understand what we go through on a daily basis, and generally they are there to help us. So if I do a protection before I do an investigation, I will usually call upon ancestor spirits to help me and protect me if I feel that there could be some sort of threat there. Some people call these spirit guides. Certain people feel they have their own personal spirit guide. They live on a different plane to us. Okay, they understand where we are and what we're doing, but they live on a completely different plane to us. So yeah, a very, very helpful spirit, that one. So the next spirit I want to talk to you about are angels or deities. So these spirits are very, very, very old. And they can offer protection to people or areas. An example of one of these would probably be the spirit that inhabits the tree at Grovely Wood. So that is a very, very old spirit, I believe, up there. They can... So if you look at the story of Grovely Wood, that the witches were, or the women were killed up there, and trees were planted, trees grew up, and people have assumed, I guess, that one of those spirits is inhabiting that tree. It doesn't mean, as I've said before, that they can't attach themselves and they can't feel part of something else that was there. So it could well be that you've got an angel or a deity that's there portraying itself as the spirit of one of those women, but actually it's a much, much, much stronger spirit than that. And excuse me, it yeah, they can protect areas, they can protect people. These are very, very strong spirits and not to be messed with. They can affect you, they can affect surroundings, but again, not necessarily an evil spirit, not necessarily going to cause you any great harm, but certainly if they were protecting an area and you were threatening it, they would probably drive you away from that area, maybe causing a headache, just making you feel nauseous, making you feel unwell, anything that they need to do to get you to leave because they feel you're a threat to that area or a person they're protecting. The next one is what I call like it's probably a raw energy spirit, for want of a better term. I don't know how else to describe it. So these are spirit or energy that affects your emotion, okay? So you might walk into a place or go somewhere and you suddenly get a feeling, a real sad feeling. It can be a real anger. I experienced this when we were investigating the top room at the Abbey. So that anger projected out onto me. I felt it there, and I think Dave felt the same type of thing there too. So this is raw energy. It can be chaotic, it can be angry, it can be sad, but it can also be positive. It can be a calming influence. Sometimes you'll find somewhere that you go that you just feel peaceful, tranquil, serene. That can be that there is a very, very raw energy spirit there that is making you feel that way. So not always negative. Probably we recognise the negative more than we recognise the positive in it. So we're more than likely going to recognise if something or an energy is making us feel angry than we are if it's making us feel calm and quite positive. Again, people try to sort of put spirits into boxes and say, well, you know, they're good and they're bad. I think there's sometimes good and bad in everything, including spirits. I'm sure there are some out there that have really good intentions, but if they were provoked and you were to attack maybe what their good intentions were, like we talked about with the spirits that are protecting things, then they can feel quite bad to you if you're perhaps being bad to them, and that's no different than the rest of us on this plane, is it? If someone treats us well, we tend to treat them well. If someone treats us badly, we may well treat them badly in return. So, getting on to what I feel are the last couple of categories, we're looking at a parasite energy now. So these are similar to the spirits, the raw energy spirits that we were talking about. They are a raw energy spirit, but they're different in as much as they feed off of us. So these spirits can attach themselves to you, and they feed off of your energy. Now, usually with this spirit, they do go for negative energies. That seems to be the thing that gets them. So you'll quite often find people who are going through bad times, going through difficult situations. They're an attractor for a bad parasite spirit that will feed off of their negative energy. Quite often they will be spirits that hang around graveyards, places like that, because there's a lot of sad people who go to those places, and they will, if you're quite sad when you go there, they will try and attach to you if you're not careful. So really important that you understand how to cleanse if you've been to one of those places and you suddenly feel different. You can recognize if something's attached itself to you. So if you feel different than you normally feel, maybe if you think, well, I just feel so sad, so unhappy, so miserable, and you can't put a reason to it, that can be an energy attaching itself to you. And you can do a simple cleansing procedure whereby you just ask for help to cleanse yourself. Some people like to use crystals, some people like to use sage, smudging, that type of thing. I'm not saying there's any right or wrong way, but I think if you feel that those things work for you, they probably will work for you. That's how it works. So, you know, don't be afraid if you suddenly think, oh, something's not right, I feel like something is attached to me. Then if you can't cleanse it yourself, then maybe get someone to do a cleansing ceremony for you and to take that away. And after then we come to what I would call probably the top level, the higher level spirits, and some people would call these demons. Okay. Demons are an interesting one. So everybody conjures up a picture when you say the word demon, don't they? Are they necessarily 100% negative? I'm not so sure. Okay? They are a higher level spirit, a bit like the angel spirits, the deity spirits. They are trying to influence their surroundings, but they are very, very strong. So the ways they choose to influence can be through inhabiting a human, so it becomes a possession. And they strongly want to influence their surroundings, people. It's not always like you see in the movies. It's not always a case of, you know, someone gets entered by a demon and suddenly their bones twist and they walk upside down on the ceiling, and you know, it can be much more subtler than that. I think that these spirits want to influence this actual planet, and if we go back to times past, maybe they are some of the fallen angels that are talked about in some of the old books. So their motives for being here, for haunting, for want of a better word, are very different. They want to influence people on this planet, to change things on this planet, to make this place possibly different from what it is. If you do believe in a creator, these are probably what you would call the Nephilim, the fallen angels. And they want to drag this away, drag this, what's the word, to take away from that creator's creation, and they want to change things. Now, I'm not saying I believe any of that. I'm not going down a religious road here. That's for each of you, for your own religions, for each, that's fine. But it's just trying to explain that they seem to want to influence bigger things around than just you, you know. So I guess certain things people talk about, where does a poltergeist, for instance, fit into those energies? Well, they're a mischievous spirit, aren't they? But they don't generally hurt people. They can scare people immensely, but in general. So these are rough guys. So I'd say that the poltergeist fits in sort of with that raw energy that we talked about, just below demons. They can be quite negative and nasty. They can be playful and fun. So just one type there. So there's lots of other words, lots of other terms that people use for spirits, but I hope maybe this has helped categorize some for you. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your comments on this. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed the chat. As I say, it's just my thoughts and ramblings on a Sunday morning. So hope I haven't said anything that's offended anyone or made anybody feel bad or made people think, no, that's a load of rubbish. It's my thoughts, my feelings. Hope you've enjoyed it, and please pop some of yours in the comments. And thanks for listening. Have a great Sunday. I'm hoping Dave will be arriving soon. He's been out working again this morning, but he should be here and we'll be doing something with the rest of our Sunday. So whatever you're doing, have a great day, and we'll see you again soon. Take care from Paranormal Contact.